Hey you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to my art studio. If you've watched any of my other videos, you may have noticed it looks a little different this week, and that's because I sold so much stuff last weekend. I had to do some rearranging when I got back, and I'm just really excited to share with you how this all happened in today's video. If you are new here, my name is Halley. I am an artist living in Atlanta, Georgia. I sell my paintings at outdoor art markets as well as online. Prior to this, I had a full-time jewelry business, which I was selling pretty much exclusively on Etsy and at tons of outdoor art markets. So I do have a lot of experience doing this type of event, and I have lots of feedback and helpful hints and tricks, and today I really wanted to share some of that with you. 2 months ago in June, I did do my first event in 2 years. I took a small break after having a baby, and I made a vlog about it, and I can link that in the description as well if you're interested. But at that event, I actually did not sell any original art. My first piece of advice that I have for you is if that happens, do not be discouraged, especially if you have work that's a higher price point or large pieces of art. A lot of times your client may need to go home and really think about it and do measurements and really look at their space and make sure that it fits. And the other thing that they may want to do is make sure that they're ready to invest in you as an artist. So that's why it's really important to have social media, have business cards, and make sure that people keep in touch with you after the event is over. In my case, I had a couple meet me at the Virginia Highlands Festival, and they really liked my work. They followed me on Instagram, and they contacted me right before the event this weekend at Piedmont Park. And they said there was a piece that they really loved. They wanted to come out and get a second look at it. So I invited them to come by my studio. When they got here, the piece that they were originally in love with, they still liked it, but they saw the one that I had on the wall behind me, which was a big green and purple kind of tropical piece. And they fell in love with that one even more and decided to take it home with them. Even though I did not make that sale at the event, I am still including it with my overall number because it is still relevant. And I think it's important to keep that in mind. And like I said, not to be discouraged if you don't sell anything at the event. Art is a long-term game. We are in this is a passion project. This is a heart project. This isn't typically something people get into for the money. We get into it because we're passionate about our work. Okay, so now let's jump into this weekend. I was going to make a vlog about this weekend as well, but as it turned out, I had some crazy weather to deal with, multiple thunderstorms. We're in Georgia, it's summertime. And that's just, kind of normal here. It's something to, keep in mind if you are going to be doing these outdoor events. So I'll touch on that. And it also just got really busy. So I didn't get to film as much as I wanted to, but I'm going to share some of the clips that I did take with you. Alright, moment of truth. We're gonna check and make sure that nothing got messed up. Oh, it looks good, you guys. Everything is nice and dry. Okay, so this right here, that makes me super nervous. I have to figure out how to get that water out. This is the bad part about doing outdoor events is you gotta be prepared for stuff like that to happen. So I had to remove the art first before I try to deal with that problem because it's not worth it. It's not worth it to potentially damage like thousands of dollars worth of art just to save myself a few moments. So I'm gonna be running a little late with setup, and that is okay. So thank God I had some tall guys come help me get the water off the top of the tent. Everything looks good now other than some water on the floor, but hopefully that will dry up and we are all good to go. So as I mentioned, I didn't get to take a lot of other footage. Right after I finished filming these clips, I started to get really busy right away, and I sold 3 of my biggest paintings basically back to back to back within 2 hours of opening, which was crazy, but it was also like I was prepared for it. As luck would have it, the first piece that I sold was the one that the couple originally came out to see in my studio, so then I was like, glad that they didn't take that one because there was another couple that walked right into my tent and literally didn't even have to think twice about it. They were like, we need this one. Okay, do you deliver? We would love to bring this painting home with us. So Summer Haze was gone. That was my big pink tropical 5 foot by 4 foot canvas. The next piece that I sold was another large 4 foot by 4 foot floral piece that went to a girl that lived near the park. The third piece that I had sold was my favorite that I just finished, which was the frog on the banana tree. And it was kind of moody, blue, tropical piece. The theme has been tropical lately, if you haven't picked up on that. But like I said, back to back to back, they were gone. And after that, I did sell a few more smaller originals and prints as well. So this is my second piece of advice. I know it's kind of backwards because the first thing I said is a lot of times people may need to think about it, but the second piece of advice I have is a lot of serious art buyers know exactly what they're looking for. They might know exactly the size, the color, maybe they have even seen your work before. Serious art buyers very often show up early on Saturday mornings because they want to get there when the market opens and when everything is still available. They don't want to miss out. So it isn't uncommon to sell some of your most expensive stuff very early in the show when the doors first open. So make sure on Saturday morning that you are there on time and you're as prepared as you can be. I know a lot of times we have other obstacles that we have to work around, such as the water on top of my tent. If possible, you really want to try to be there as early as you can on opening day. So the third piece of advice that I have is really the most important. It is all about connection. I know a lot of us as artists, we can be a little shy. A lot of us are introverts. I know that I am. And it may be difficult. You may find it difficult to talk about your work in person. I have a little bit of advice for you regarding this as well. What I do when I start to freeze up or not know what to say about my work, I can change the conversation from myself and what does the work mean to me to the person who is viewing it and what does it mean to them. So just using this piece behind me as an example, I had one woman ask me, is it a sun or a moon? And I said, what is it to you? How do you see it? Somebody else said, it reminds me of Hawaii. And I said, when did you go to Hawaii? Tell me about your trip. Is that where you're from? The truth is about art, it is a partnership. It is 50-50. Yes, we are making the work, but it also, when it is being viewed by someone else, it is touching a place of their memories, their feelings, their stories, etc. So open up that conversation and use that to your advantage. It can really not just help you make the sale, but it can help you make the connection with our fellow humans, and that is really what we're here for. That's what we're here doing. So the final bit of advice that I have for you today is really what I feel made the difference between this event and other events that I've done in the past, and that is to remain true to yourself as an artist. So what I mean is, in the past, I often tried to include a variety of different sizes, different price points, maybe even some different color palettes or subject matter, hoping to appeal to a wider audience. And I really did not do that this time. This time I showed up with a portfolio that really just represents the direction that I wish to go in as an artist. It was all very coherent, and I just held the belief that if I absolutely love this work, there's going to be someone else out there who loves it too, and I'm going to find them. So I hope this video was inspiring to you. If you did find this helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I am wishing you all of the success.